Hello, good afternoon, Justice Warriors. It's me again. I am continuing on my quest of trying to do these Cliffnote versions of the hour-long lives that I do each morning, just to see how it goes, to see if that is more satisfying for the viewers and for me too, because honestly, I got to tell you, as much as I love doing the lives and I could do 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day, it is a little much saturation, right? So sometimes less is more. So anyway, I always like to start by saying that everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and to exchange information with my viewers because you guys are the bomb. I love you. Thanks for watching. And all of my videos are made specifically for YouTube, which is an entertainment platform, but I hope that they're educational rather than entertaining. Please hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you feel so inclined and would be so kind. It does a lot to help out the channel. And my channel is just coming up on about 6 months old, so I feel like I'm starting to maybe get it. I don't know. Anyway, covering this Idaho 4 case has just been ghastly, to be quite frank. Um, Quick thumbnail of my hour-long video this morning is that last night I was thinking about how I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, a good 35 years ago. Yeah, I'm old. Miami University is about 20 miles from a city called Hamilton that was built with, let's just say, dark money. And Miami University has a very high population of Greek life, meaning people that participate in sororities and fraternities. It was even higher back then when I went there, but now it's in the realm of the University of Idaho. I think they're both between 20 and 25% of the population that is in the Greek system. And, people have been talking about this whole thing with the OnlyFans, and so I Googled sororities and OnlyFans, and Google told me, I don't know if they're lying, if they're just like trying to, spread rumors, but basically Google says that these institutions are utilizing OnlyFans. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Um, but it gives me a lot of food for thought and brings a lot of questions to mind, and I just can't help it. The photos are very explicit, beyond explicit. They are racy AF, right? I mean, they're just like completely over the top, smoking hot, smoldering. And, those are just the photos that we see online. Like, imagine the ones that you have to pay to see. I just don't know. Anyway, when I went to Miami University, I avoided the whole sorority fraternity scene like the plague, as difficult as that was, because pretty much back then and still now, Miami University was just that. They have like 50 sororities and fraternities on their campus. And it's kind of like considered the mother of a lot of the Greek row. Literally, look it up. So, anyway, the secrecy that was there, I never really gave it much thought, but it looks like it probably has a lot to do with that, sex, and who knows what else. And, I mean, when you're in college, the whole thing is like what I just said with the drugs and the rock and roll. Should we just say substances? So, procreating, substances, and music, right? So, I just don't think that any of this is shocking to anybody that's an adult, right? Or a teenager, or even a kid these days. Kids grow up way too fast. But what I really wanted to touch on in my video is about how kids feel like they're immortal and invincible, and they don't think that doing any of those things will have any severe consequences, right? I mean, I know I didn't when I was that age. I thought that I could just do whatever I wanted and everything would be hunky dory. But we do know that we can sometimes suffer from the consequences of our choices. And it reminds me of when my oldest was a little toddler and I saw her in the bathtub playing with her Barbie, and her big Barbie was saying to the little Barbie, "Well, then that's your choice." And it just cracked me up because I realized that's what I said to her all the time. Well, then that's your choice. So, anyway, um, I talked a little bit about when I went to Dallas, Texas. I've only been to Dallas, Texas once. It was for a cousin's wedding about almost 20 years ago. And I had the good fortune of staying in the Magnolia Hotel, which is right next to the grassy knoll, and the book depository. And I brought it up simply because I wanted to tell how funny it was. The book that I bought next door for my kids at the flagship Neiman Marcus Fancy Pants store. The book was called The Big Hairball. And it just cracked me up because here I was going to a wedding in Dallas, Texas, and never in my life did it ever occur to me that I had such small hair. And I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? My hair's so small, and I'm trying to go to this wedding in Dallas, Texas, with these people that don't have small hair. They don't have small hair. So then I saw this book, The Big Hairball, and I just had to buy it. So now I'm thinking maybe I'll read that to my audience for one of my videos just for fun. But I did also want to tell people that grassy knoll looks really different in real life than it does in the movies or photographs. It's amazing. We have a question that's been coming up in the YouTube land in the last 24 hours or so, wondering if our criminal defendant in the Idaho 4 case had any contact with the two survivors prior to the quadruple unalivings. I do not know. But I also spoke to the fact that when I was at Miami University, the Beastie Boys came to play on campus over Little Sibs weekend, and like an idiot, I missed it. The year before I went to school there, the Talking Heads played at Little Sibs weekend, and like an idiot, I missed it. So, anyway, there was a very high rate of self unaliving on campus while I was there in 1985-86. And it was specifically females that were doing it. And it was very hush hush. It was totally not talked about, not reported on. And, it was sad, but it wasn't until yesterday, really, that I thought, what if? What if they weren't just people wanting to do self harm? What if they were Kylie Rodney'd? And there was also a very high incidence of SA in the fraternities, and multiple SA, if you know what I mean, like hideous. And so even back then, when I knew about those things happening on my campus, I thought, well, it's probably the same people that are being victimized at the frat houses that are taking themselves out of their pain and misery. But just the scandal, the scandalous raciness in the Greek life, it's always been a thing. So, um, these things that people don't talk about, there's so much that is swept under the rug, like in the Kylie Rodney case and in the Lake Tahoe Truckee area. And, that's called the Green Triangle by some, has been for decades. And it's similar to Los Angeles. You've got this area of Laurel Canyon, which is kind of a similar black hole that growing up there as a young blonde female, you knew to steer clear of Laurel Canyon. That's where the Sharon Tate thing happened. Um, and another thing I thought of last night that I really didn't want to, and I really was having trouble sharing it with my people in my video, and I'm having trouble sharing it with you right now, is that this criminal defendant, as creepy as he looks in a lot of the photos that we see with his Charles Manson eyes, in some of his more flattering photos, which we don't see many of, he actually resembles JFK Jr., in my humble opinion. And I just thought that was really weird because, media tries to paint things a certain way. So they only show us the really hideous, ugly photographs, basically. Um, One of my faithful viewers, Sifa, who has his own channel too, check him out. He's really good. He made some comments about how Placer County was refusing his Freedom of Information Act requests and that they were just blocking the records requests. So I recommended to him to hire a lawyer or, short of that, just do the back and forth. Just keep making the request, keep citing laws, keep quoting sunshine laws. And eventually you might wear them down or just get somebody who doesn't care and wants to give you the request. But often these people are told by their supervisors, absolutely, don't disseminate the requests that are made for the public records, even though that's illegal. They can always come up with a reason, or just, stave you off with the back and forth until you give up. But maybe you can make them give up, right? I know Paula Plender's done it. She's a hero for sure. And I've known other people that have done it too. And I think maybe I've even done it a couple of times where I've gotten a record that I didn't think they would ever give up. So, in talking about people being set up like fall guys that are required to take the rap for a situation, you have to know that fall guys don't have a choice. It's not anything they sign up for. They can't. Uh, there's no option. The only option is that they're next, right? So that's how that stuff works. In case you're not familiar. And then I love this quote by Martin Luther King Jr. In injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. If that's not one that you're familiar with, that is a great one. I'd say that that's kind of like one of my mainstays of just how I function and what makes me tick. It's really all about democracy versus fascism. And I'm all about democracy. I mean, that's kind of the all American thing. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this as short as possible, so I'm going to sign off and say thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time and attention, and please check out my channel, other videos if you're interested. And if this is the kind of thing that you like, please share with your friends, subscribe, and hit that like button as much as you can. It really does a lot to help further the success of this type of work. So, I always like to sign off by reminding myself and all of us to exercise and eat right and stay hydrated. Eat high protein, high produce, especially veggies, but also your fruit. And make sure you get fresh air and sunshine every single day. That's so very important. And your sleep is even more important than exercise, in case you didn't know that. Make sure you get your rest. Take it easy. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to other people. Be forgiving to yourself. Be forgiving to other people. And really just, keep on keeping on. That's what it's all about. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next time around. Have a great day.